So 7 years ago, I just stopped drinking alcohol. I was fat. I was broke. I was living in a friend's place because I'd run out of money. I was borrowing money off my family to pay for groceries. And honestly, I was a loser. I was losing at life. I was drinking and escaping my problems rather than facing them head on. But 7 years ago, everything changed. I changed the way that I viewed alcohol, and my life it is unrecognizable. I'm not exaggerating when I say that I lived in this tiny room when my friend went away on holiday and then he let me stay and he didn't make me pay anything because I had no money. And then when he came back home for a couple of weeks, I had to go and stay at another friend's place and I was in a pretty bad place. But after I stopped drinking alcohol, everything changed. I got in the best shape of my life. I became the strongest that I've ever been. I started doing CrossFit. I'm about to get married. I'm now planning for a family. I've built the business that I always wanted to have. But it didn't start off like this. At the beginning, progress was kind of slow, which is why I want to introduce you to this concept of the domino effect. And when it comes to stopping drinking alcohol, you will experience this. But there is a way for you to destroy this effect. But if you're on this journey and you're trying to stop drinking alcohol, this idea of the domino effect is going to blow you away. And very quickly, if you want instant access to a brand new video training that I've just finished showing you how to control alcohol in as little as 48 hours, then click the link in the description. This new method is not about using willpower therapy or AA meetings. It's totally different. I do not publish this video anywhere else online and it's already changing thousands of lives. So click the link below for instant access. Once you're on the next page, enter your name and email address and your free training will begin. It takes just 7 minutes to watch, but it'll feel like somebody flicks a switch in your brain. And honestly, I'm not sure when I'll start charging for this 7-minute video training. That's how good it is. But whilst it's still available, click the link below, enter your name and email address and watch that video now. So what is the domino effect? Just watch this clip for a second.
Everybody knows about playing with dominoes, but what you may not know is that a domino can knock over another domino which is about 1.5 times larger. So what I have here is a chain of dominoes. Each one is 1.5 times larger than the previous one. And the smallest domino is about 5 millimeters high and 1 millimeter thick. And I will carefully place it. And there are 13 dominoes. And the largest domino, it weighs about 100 pounds and is more than 1 meter tall. Ready? Boom. That was 13 dominoes. If I had 29 dominoes, the last domino would be as tall as the Empire State Building.
So as you can see, a 5mm domino can knock over a domino the same size as the Empire State Building. And I was in New York last year and I've seen that Empire State Building and that's pretty big. Not as big as the Burj Khalifa when I used to live in Dubai, but it's a massive building. So what does all of this mean? Why am I talking to you about this domino effect? The decision to stop drinking alcohol is that you just will no longer do that. It's a very simple decision. The problem is that we build it up in our heads and we make it into a tough decision. But when I saw this video of this domino effect, I would say that stopping drinking alcohol is that 5mm domino. Now, providing that you don't just sit around and watch Netflix all day and change nothing about your life, the act of stopping drinking alcohol will lead into something else. So when I stopped drinking alcohol, the first thing I did was I got back to the gym. I started eating the right food. I actually got a bodybuilding coach because I was just fat and bloated and weak, and I made that the focus. Then I quit my job and started a personal training business. And then I was focused. I had energy, I had clarity. Immediately, I'm making more money. I've probably tripled how much I was making when I was drinking alcohol. Then from there, I learned more about business, about systems. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to take a risk. And ended up booking a one-way flight to Asia. And then I spent around about 1 year just freelancing, doing bits and pieces, working for clients, really building up my skills. I made a video when I was 1 year sober, talking about my journey and all the things that had happened. And that then led into people wanting help, which led into a company. And it was like this domino effect of just thing after thing after thing after thing kept falling. And the great thing is that it keeps getting better. And this is why people end up doing things like building $100 million companies, right? Running marathons, getting in their peak shape when they're 50. I've seen it. In fact, one of the coaches in my program in Sober Clear, He's in his 60s and he's in the best shape he's ever been. And we see this with celebrities, right? I don't know if you've seen the interview with Bradley Cooper where he says that if he had drank alcohol, he would never be sat there even doing that interview because he could never access who he really was.
Oh, are you kidding? I would never be sitting here with you. No way, no chance. Because I wouldn't have been able to have access to myself or other people or even been able to take in other people if I hadn't changed my life. No way.
We see people like Tucker Carlson. We see Jordan Peterson. We see a lot of people who stop drinking alcohol and then go on to achieve incredible levels of success. And whether you agree with these people, like them or dislike them, you can't deny that when they stopped drinking alcohol, their careers took off in ways that they probably didn't even expect themselves. Because they didn't know what they were capable of without drinking. But instead, the domino effect happened. They made that one decision, which then led into better decisions. And I can guarantee that there are so many more people out there, celebrities, business people, whatever, that don't drink alcohol, that may have had a problem with it and gone on to achieve an incredible life, but they don't talk about it because it's kind of taboo. A lot of people don't like sharing about it, which is understandable. In fact, a lot of my clients want to be completely anonymous. They don't want me to go and use their name, or they don't want to come and do an interview. I have a lot of clients that will come and make an interview and share their journey of their experience not drinking alcohol. Most of the people I work with say, no, mate, no chance. I'm not putting my name out there like that. So just imagine the thousands of people that have stopped drinking alcohol that don't say anything about it. And this is what you can expect in your life. But the only way that it will happen is if you get busy moving towards a better future. If you start taking action. If you just sit around and do nothing all day, this domino effect will never happen, but it will build. The amount of time that these dominoes take to fall over will vary. Some people are going to stop drinking alcohol and that first domino might not fall over for 3 months. They might have a rough time at the beginning, but as long as they don't drink, the next domino will fall, and then the next one, and then the next one. But the only way that you can screw this up is by drinking alcohol again. Because I guarantee you, if you drink, the dominoes will just stop falling. And then you'll be having to go back to ground zero, start the process again. And that sucks. I've done that more times than I can count. I've had to rebuild my life so many times. So just keep it going and let me know in the comment section how long you've not drank for and what's been your biggest win over the past few weeks. And if you click the video on the screen now, you can see some of the warning signs alcohol could be killing you.